Maythorn Monthly. It's the Maythorn Monthly. Maythorn Monthly. It's the Maythorn Monthly.
Just had to wait for the tram to go past because they're noisy, and we're sitting on a street corner having breakfast in Sofia, the capital of Bulgaria, and I'm having what is a Bulgarian delicacy almost, a banitsa. It's generally homemade by people in villages like the one that we have our bungalow in, but you'll find it in a number of places, and it's made with cheese and egg and other stuff, and it's really tasty, and I recommend it. So we've come to look round the city centre today, but first let's start with the hotel because it's full of artwork and sculptures and things like that. It's absolutely rammed with them. So that's a tour on its own, our hotel.
On the upper floors of the hotel, there's quite a lot of artwork of various kinds along the walls leading to the bedrooms. There's more artwork in the restaurant, and then if you go right downstairs to the reception level, you'll find some statues and other sculptures that are most interesting. This is an absolute first. I've got into my 70s and never stayed in a 5-star hotel before. Probably couldn't afford it in any other country. But this time we were forced into this because at the last minute, in the last 24 hours, the budget hotel that we booked into said they only took cash. We were arriving late at night on a flight and we didn't think we'd be able to get hold of any cash, so we cancelled that. And guess what was available? The Hotel Anel, which is more of a museum and art gallery than a hotel. The hotel was on a main road a few hundred yards down from Serdica, where the metro station is, and we didn't want to pay the 17 euros for the hotel breakfast, so we went along to a cafe on the corner at Serdica and had some pancakes. You'll probably notice the girls are taking photographs of their food before they eat it. This apparently is a social media thing, you have to do it.
On Vitosha Boulevard, we lean into the night. Plates full of peppers, bread, and glasses catching light. Every door's got a story, every table feels alive. The air tastes like roasted coffee, and the mountain keeps its eye. Sofia, Sofia, you wear the blue so proud. Sofia, Sofia, peaks behind the crowd. Sofia, Sofia, I'm lost and found again in your open heart.
We've shown you Vitosha Boulevard quite a few times on previous visits. We also had a good look at the Hansel and Gretel place, which you can't help noticing as you walk past it. This long boulevard takes you down to the NDK Park, which is where we're heading.
When you get to the bottom of Vitosha Boulevard, you reach the NDK Park. When Brian was in Sofia, the Springfest was taking place. Join us now as we take a look around.
You'll notice that Jess has come with us on this trip. joining Ruth and I. We're the calorie counters. She's the country counter. This is another country to tick off her list. Easter's gone by some weeks back, so we're quite surprised to see there are still Easter eggs here. Perhaps the Europeans make Easter last as long as they make Christmas last.
Sofia, Sofia, you wear the blue so proud. Sofia, Sofia, peeks behind the crowd. Sofia, Sofia, I'm lost and found again.
We are at the Alexander Nevsky Cathedral with lovely gold domes, and this is in the centre of Sofia. Jess has been here for 24 hours now, nearly, and I think she likes it.
I do.
Jess, you're trying to get 10 countries in before you're 30.
Yeah.
And we brought you to Bulgaria, so how many is that now?
3.
3, oh dear.
3 down, 7 to go.
So we're going to go home via Romania, so that'll be 4.
Yeah, 6 out of 10. No, 4 out of 10.
4 out of 10.
Yeah, 4 out of 10.
You're good at maths then.
Yeah, very.
So are you planning any other countries to visit this year?
I'm going to Lanzarote in July, which isn't a country, it's part of Spain, but...
Oh, it counts. It's it's a Canary Island, that'll do.
Yeah, and then Australia in September, and then I'm actually going to Spain, like the main island of Spain, in December with Becky.
Right, which part of Spain are you going to go to?
Maybe either Madrid or Barcelona.
Right.
Haven't decided yet.
I've been to Barcelona loads of times, but never seen Madrid, so maybe we should be doing that too.
Yeah.
Okay, so here we are. It tells you that we're in Sofia. There can be no mistake. and we're actually standing by the Alexander Nevsky Cathedral. Actually, should we go and have a look at that? I'm sure the professional camera person over there can follow us this way, and we'll go. She hates me doing this, by the way.
Alexander Nevsky lifts its gold into the sun. Domes like a held-back thunder and the prayer of everyone. Marble shadow, candlelight, a calm that pulls me near. I stand small in that stillness and the whole city feels clear. One hill, one ruin, one dome, one breath through the years. Old stones and new faces, and all of it stays here. Sofia, Sofia, you wear the blue so proud. Sofia, Sofia, peeks behind the crowd. Sofia, Sofia, I'm lost and found again in your open heart and your stone old skin.
From the cathedral, we make our way back along towards Serdica. We see the changing of the guard as we go down this walkway, and we also see the domes again. Now, this is video that we took of the domes in October 2024. This is interesting because I don't suppose you see it very often. They're actually cleaning them on the top. It never occurred to me that that has to be done. But yes, these domes are providing light for down below. Now, in October 24, there wasn't much down below. That's changed a lot. Well, since we were last here, an awful lot of the old Roman city has been unveiled and is laid out underneath the domes. We weren't able to see this last time, so I assume it was all fenced off in some way, but now it's quite an excursion.
One hill, one ruin, one dome, one breath through the years. Old stones and new faces, and all of it stays here. Sofia, Sofia, you wear the blue so proud. Sofia, Sofia, peeks behind the crowd. Sofia, Sofia, I'm lost and found again in your open heart and your stone old skin.
From Serdica 2 metro station, it's a couple of stops up the line to Sofia's central station, and that's where you get your ongoing trains across the rest of the country. And as we left Sofia on the Varna train to take us up to Levski, where we'll change for Svishtov, I couldn't help thinking about that dome. There was a whole area under the domes there that wasn't being used. Now, you know me, I've created a dome recently as a living habitat. I wondered if you could do the same with this one. So I got the AI to add some grass. I thought that was a nice carpet. The van to deliver some furniture, and this was no flat pack. It was a fully assembled living room in the back of the truck. We didn't need the truck anymore, so we just get that to melt away, and we lower the furniture to the ground. We don't need the box it's in either anymore. Now, we don't need it in the middle of the room because we want to put other things here, so we move it over to the left. And I think I want a little less clutter, so let's get rid of the bookcases and, the rug as well. We got our own rug in the grass. Then we'll need a kitchen, so I had a kitchen dropped in, and it's in the wrong place, of course. We don't want anything right in the middle, so let's get it moved across to the left-hand side. And this is where I started to get fed up with the AI, because it didn't seem to be doing what I asked. So forget about that. Flew the drone back to the dome that we started with, and let's see if Maddie is settling in. And we've gained a cat. You'll have to find out how later. I first bought a house in Bulgaria in the village of Oresh in 2007, and back then this is what it looked like inside. It was a perfectly solid house. It had been lived in until fairly recently, and there were even some photographs still on the wall. Unfortunately, due to the 2008 banking crash and finances collapsing completely, I wasn't able to get back to Bulgaria for some years afterwards. The GFC, as it was called, the global financial crash, caused so many things to fall apart, but I didn't expect that to apply literally to the house I bought. I didn't actually get back there properly until 2017, 10 years later, but I had reports in the meantime that the mud bricks were starting to dissolve. Now, this was due to a hole in the roof, water getting in, and mud bricks basically just being mud. Once they get wet, they collapse. I arrived back from Bulgaria in March 2020, just as COVID was beginning and the lockdown started, so I didn't get back there again until 2023. And in March 2023, the house has pretty much gone, and I'm told that there's not a lot I can do about it because of the way it is situated on a hill. It will be difficult to get building materials to, and also difficult to take all the rubbish away. I came back a few months later, and you could no longer see the house because we reach a time of year when everything grows and there are all sorts of trees and greenery and other stuff that more or less prevented me from seeing what was left of the house. Also, by 2023, all the land around the house had become overgrown, and it was difficult to thrash our way through to even get onto the plot. This wasn't a problem in the early days because a farmer was letting his sheep graze here, but that had stopped some years ago. And so now we're back here in 2026, and you can see Colin and Jess have gone down ahead of me, and there is a little bit of a path down to the house. And we later found there's a reason for this, that somebody has been sleeping in the West Wing in the basement, and they'd left their dog behind as well. As in 2023, coming here in May means you can't see very much of the house behind all the greenery, so swinging round a bit, there was a shed here where all my spare roof tiles were stored. The shed's fallen down, and so far the roof tiles are still here. I wonder how long that'll last. Swinging round a bit further, and this is the view that I actually wanted when I bought this house. I think the only way I'm going to enjoy this now is to bring a chair up here and sit and stare at it. Deep down, I'd still like to do this house, but let's be honest, I've left it nearly 20 years and probably too late in my life to get started on it. And so we head back to Colin's house for a coffee, but as soon as we arrive in the lane by his house, Jess spots some goats in the field opposite. Not something you see on the outskirts of Chester where she lives, so a bit of a surprise, and of course she had her phone there ready to take a few photographs. More photographs to be taken when we actually cross the road to Colin's house. Those who've been watching us for a few years now will remember a large litter of puppies that appeared one Christmas. Well, there's a few of them still left, and they're housed here in the garden at Colin's house. And so we head into town. and into Svishtov, which is on the River Danube, and we're in Coleto Park, which we've been keeping an eye on over the years. Now, this video was taken in 2023 by the drone, and what you're looking down on is the human sundial. It's a great big sundial on top of the hill where you could stand and the sun would cast your shadow onto the current time on this huge hilltop clock.
Upon Coleto, the stone still stands. Old walls.
When we came in 2024, there was no official access onto Coleto Park, and so we flew the drone over the area. And where the sundial had been, there was some funny elongated shaped holes being dug, and frankly it began to look a bit like a burial site. The view we get of the church from the drone here shows that it's pretty much been stranded amongst all these muddy works. And so, back up to date to 2026. If you have some knowledge of the Cyrillic alphabet, you can see that it says Coleto at the top. This is the Coleto Historic Park. And the list of things that are up here are also in English, including a museum, a fortress, a theatre, the church of course, a monastic school and a children's playground. Let's have a look around. Starting on the side where the church is, and it's all been landscaped properly, no sign of mud here anymore, and some quite nice flowers have been planted. The church has been refurbished by the look of it, and the angel of the Lord came down and she approved as well. This whole area now looks extremely tidy compared with the way it used to be. They must have spent a small fortune on paving stones. There are new paths at every level on the edge of this hill. They're quite wide and they certainly don't look like the cheapest tiles available. The multi-level path system means you can either walk down by the river or halfway up the hill or go right to the top. The children's playground is at the top, and to get up here, some quite steep steps. Apart from the ruins at the top, the only thing that seems to have survived here by the old sundial area is the amphitheatre seating. There's a stage up here, and that's obviously what the seating's for.
Coleto, take me there, let me breathe that river air. Coleto.
This pleasant seating area is quite high up, so you get some good views from here. Now, this area here is actually the roof of the building below. There's an awful lot being done here, and they must have spent a small fortune. And just a little bit further down, as you go down the other way, the old nightclub is still here. But I wouldn't bother coming for a night out because it must be 15 or 20 years since it's last been open.
Finally, we're here! This is going to be epic! It looks closed. Or abandoned.
And it feels like it hasn't been opened in years.
Seriously? We came all the way for this?
Yeah, I did tell you. Anyway, now you're here, you might as well sit on one of these benches and enjoy the view.
Coleto, take me there, let me breathe that river. Coleto, let me stay till the light gives me away. Watch it fall over the Danube overall. Coleto, hold me still till the sunset fills the hill.
Down in the centre of Svishtov, and 1 year ago we were here and they were taking up all the paving and they were totally destroying the fountain areas, but we didn't know what they were going to do here.
Coleto in my heart, and the river standing still.
This is some video from June 2022 when there was an event on in the square and the old fountains were still in full play. So in 2025 they smashed it all to bits and took it away, and here we are in 2026 to see the new fountains and the new Elako Square.
Let me stay till the light gives me away. Watch it fall, watch it fall.
One final thing in Svishtov, we stopped off with Colin at this new shop, and it's a really comprehensive home and garden shop where Colin was going in to buy some compost. This is not only opposite Pepco, but it's right next door to the new supermarket we showed you a couple of years ago, so this area of the town is really expanding quite fast.
Overall, Coleto, hold me still till the sunset fills the hill. I'll sit and watch it fade golden spill, collateral in my heart, and the river standing still.
One of our favourite places in Ruse is walking along the shores of the River Danube. It's a nice wide walkway, and you can follow the railway line along to the Railway Museum, and you can come back via the riverfront and find the floating restaurant.
I've been watching Brian's videos from Bulgaria from back here in the drone. I wish he had taken me with him. It looks like he is back in Ruse now, as I recognise the Monument of Liberty. Ruse is spread out far and wide along the banks of the Danube and further inland up to where the station, the bus station and the railway station are. And so we only had a few hours. We had an overnight stay here. So we decided to stick to the area around the square. We'd get something to eat once the evening came. And we'd brought Jess here for the first time, so we couldn't show her everything. But at least she got a selfie to take back, one with Ruth and then one with myself. It's rained a lot today, and yet the ground's dry again now. We had a little bit of sun, and it's just starting to go dark. So we've been having a look around this square, and it's the place we come to regularly, Ruse. It's the link to the airport in Romania. And tomorrow we'll be heading across the Danube and back home. This is the main railway station in Ruse. You can go from here down to Sofia, across to Varna, or what we're doing, going across the River Danube and up to Bucharest. For the first few years we did this trip, the old trains were in service, but they've now started introducing new ones, which have got much bigger windows, and you benefit from a better view as you cross the river.
Ticket in my head, morning on the red, rules behind the window, stealing red detail. I watch the fields go by, then the river starts to show, Danube on the waterline. feel the day begin. Danube
If you don't fancy the train, you can get the bus from the neighbouring bus station in Ruse.
to Bucharest, I'm almost there. Danube crossing, hold me tight. One
In a lot of European languages, they pronounce every single vowel, hence the Danube.
I'm almost there. Danube crossing, hold me tight. One road home through the morning light.
If you come by bus, you get to see all the roads in the centre of Bucharest, and you'll also notice that there is a river running right through the centre.
Well, I still say you should have taken me with you, but maybe next time. See you
Yes, sorry
later.
about that, Maddie.
I'm going for a swim. Oh, before I go, we've had a message from someone called Roger. His wife passed away and he seems to have lost his way in life. I've listened to his story and he sent me some of his photographs. So we've put together a music video to celebrate his life with Julie. He wants to come and join us in the Dome, so he is on his way here.
Yeah, have a good swim, Maddie.
It was a sad day when Julie passed away. She was the love of my life, my soulmate, my wife. Here I sit by the river, or down by the lake, where we shared a hot curry or a coffee and cake. Oh, take me back to the old days. Oh, take me back to the coast. Take me down to the sea, water up to my knee, with my Julie, who I love the most. I found my true love down in Chester. She was there at the Rudy race course. It was barrel of fun at 20 to 1. My first ever bet on a horse. Julie, oh Julie, why did you have to leave now? I don't know what to do in a life without you. Please give me a sign. Show me how.
I thought my life was finally complete when I met Julie. She was the soulmate I have been looking for. And then she got sick, and it was nothing the doctors could fix. I lost my best friend and companion on one very sad day in April. My name is Roger, and this is my journey.
Don't leave me.
It's okay. I love you.
I am needing some time to myself, to drift away into a dream, to meditate truly on life without Julie, to go where the grass is still green. I'm beginning to see a new future, a world that is not quite so bad. Drag myself out of bed and see what lies ahead, and stop myself being so sad.
Thank you for inviting me into the dome. I needed a new place to restart my life without Julie. I notice you've been to Bulgaria this month. It seems a lovely country. I'd like to congratulate them on winning the Eurovision Song Contest. It seems they are a top-notch country in so many ways. See you soon.
Everybody! Yeah! Bangaranga! Go! Yeah!
So we've come down to Thurstaston, which has 2 teas in it at least, and maybe even 3, and we're by the Wirral Way. There are lots of people here going past on a few bikes at the moment, walking, bringing their dogs, children playing football, and it's a huge area, so it doesn't get crowded. It actually means that you can wander around here in complete peace and quiet, because even the people quite near you don't seem to carry, the noise doesn't carry. In the background you can see the River Dee estuary, which rarely has water in it, and the North Wales hills beyond that, and the path that goes along the edge is called the King Charles III path. Don't know how long it's been called that, but obviously not that long. But behind the camera is the actual disused railway line, which is now a bridle path, and you can walk right down this side of the Wirral and back if you feel like it. And the next station down that way is Hadlow Road, which we've been to before. Hadlow Road has recently been done up, so we must pay that a visit sometime. But for today, make sure you've got your biggest TV screens showing us, because we've got lots of long shots of a huge area to show you here.
Moving a little further down the Wirral now towards Chester, and we're at Puddington, a little village with this cafe. It's called the Gift Cafe, and the first Thursday in every month sees all these classic cars turn up, and I'm going to have a quick look round so you can see exactly what sort of cars there are and how many of them that you may actually remember on the road. Although if you're very young, the answer to that will be 0. I focused a little bit on the Triumph Herald because it's an open top car and it's at the end of the line, so I got to photograph more of it. Method in my madness, I learnt from using AI that if I want to recreate a car, bring it back to life in other words, I need to have as many photographs at different angles as I can, and I could walk all around this car and get different pictures of it. And the final car that we see today is a classic car. It's quite old, and I was impressed with how futuristic it still looks. I dug out an old still photo of a car that I owned back in 1971-72 when I was going backwards and forwards across the country and the M62 wasn't built. I used AI to bring this to life, but it wasn't quite what I expected. In the photo, my dad was sitting in the passenger seat and I'd got out to take the photo. The AI just assumed that that was the driver, and when I asked it to let Roger drive, it made the car into a left-hand drive vehicle. So if I want my Daimler V8 250 to appear in my videos, I'm going to have to create one from scratch. Not quite the same as I remember it, but it's similar enough. I had my registration number put on the back. I asked AI to give me a view of the internal seating, and a couple of colours were shown to me. The dashboard it showed me was definitely the one I had. It was absolutely beautiful, solid wood. So a smart looking car that just needs my registration on the front and the final polish. Nice of them to supply a couple of girls to do that for me, and one of them's going to drive it to the garage to have the mechanic check it over. I don't think the same mechanic who took this for a test drive was also the one at the garage, but that's of no concern now. I have the car and I can use it in my future videos. I'm going to go back over the videos that I've made in the last few months to create our characters. And firstly, this is the mansion that Maddie lived in with her parents. She hated it. She had a VW camper and was going to go off and explore the world. I didn't want a plain camper like that, so I asked for one with a decent pattern on it, perhaps a bit psychedelic. Then decided that wasn't really the character that Maddie was, so we dumbed it down a bit and made it more artistic. So there our VW camper sitting out on a nice location where she might park up for the night. This is where the difficulty arises, that all the AIs are trained to think that vehicles are all left-hand drive. It's very difficult to convince them to do anything different. So the interior kept needing changing. When you're writing the instructions, you have to say the steering wheel should be on the right. The driver sits on the right. People drive on the left in Britain. Next I wanted a camper interior seen from the driving cab. For some reason the driving cab's the wrong way round. This is most peculiar and a bit twisted. The only way I could get the interior was if it was taken from the back looking towards the driving position. But of course that had gone left-hand drive again by now. Anyway, we got on the road with a right-hand drive vehicle and Maddie driving it. But for some reason they must have thought the cameraman would be running alongside because they left the door open. I've already showed you some of the oddities we came across when making that video, so let's move on. Remember this shot where I was in the dome, sitting on the bed, and I wanted to do what the industry calls a PTC, a piece to camera. So my instructions to the AI was, I wanted to sit on the bed and talk to the camera. And this is what it did. You'll notice the camera is pretty big and so are my hands, don't know quite why we got this scale. And then I put one of my hands down on the bed. Only I left it on the camera as well, that was clever. I wanted our next guest to come and talk to the camera as well, inside the dome, so that was arranged. Only he walks up to the camera, but for some reason his original self is still in the garden. And what is that he's holding? Didn't ask for that. Oh, and somehow he's grown a beard as well. It seems that doing close-ups of people so they can talk to us leaves their original body behind. Even more peculiar in this particular shot, if you look closely, only half of Maddie's body is still to be seen, and then the rest of it comes back.
Julie, he wants to come and join us in the dome, so he is on his way here.
Yeah, the poor girl's falling apart. She probably needs to go for that swim. A friend of mine who takes photographs of buses had noticed I'd used one of his old photographs from the 60s in the Maddie video and wondered how I'd done that. So I said, well, send me some more pictures of buses and I'll show you what I can do with them. So here's the first bus coming up the road. My instructions to the AI was that I was going to put my hand out and stop the bus. I really should have given it more detail.
Stop right there.
So take two, we try that again and it comes round from the other direction and I'm definitely going to try and board the bus. Only I mustn't have told the AI that that's what I was going to do. Let's go with the Standerwick double-decker, shall we? And this is at a time when I was working on the scene down on the beach with Maddie and the bus turns up right next to us. Now my friend Alan, he knows the person who's restored this bus. He said, I hope he doesn't see it because he won't be very impressed with it driving onto a beach. And it just stops short of going in the water. The work I did with my Daimler to try and get it back on the road was most confusing. The AI doesn't seem to know the front of the car from the back. So here the girl gets into the back, the door's the wrong way round as though it was at the front, and then it drives off as a left-hand drive version and apparently no driver. The internal shots got even more confusing. Don't know who was driving here and how the steering wheel got over on the left, and I don't know who's sitting in the back. Then the surplus girl just disappeared. Everything was fine except we're still in a left-hand drive car. I actually used part of this shot to show the two girls who were cleaning the car getting in and driving off, but I had to cut this short because look what happens. Yes, it's left-hand drive again, and one of the girls has disappeared. This kind of magic is here all the time with AI. So they get to the garage and look how they turn the vehicle round. Pretty astounding manoeuvre. I'd like to see them try that in real life. And now the vehicle seems to have wire wheels, and the mechanic who's driving it, is it a mechanic? They haven't rendered his face properly. It must be an alien. Well, that was enough of playing with the Daimler. My last instruction was that it should take off at high speed. I didn't say in reverse. But that's okay, it wasn't going in reverse really at all. I did say take off at high speed. I didn't literally mean take off. But if we're going to take off, let's do it properly, shall we? Not the vertical thing.